What if evil wasn't just some random mistake, but actually a necessary part of the whole grand design? Well, that's exactly the idea we're diving into today. Through this incredible celestial dialogue inspired by Goethe's Faust, it's a debate that happens up in the heavens, and it takes a really deep look at the nature of good and evil itself. And it all really boils down to this one huge question that people have been wrestling with forever. Is evil just this destructive force we need to get rid of, or could it somehow serve a purpose? That's the big puzzle we're going to try to piece together. So to get to the bottom of this, our story kicks off, just like the title says, up in heaven. We see the Lord looking over all of his creation, but, there's one specific spot that's caught his eye, and it makes him ask a question that gets this whole debate started. Now listen to how he phrases this. He's not just asking what the angels see, he's pointing to a very specific problem. He sees a shadow, and it isn't just there. It's defiant and so bold. That one line just sets up the entire conflict right from the get-go. So, in response to this, the Archangel Raphael comes forward to give heaven's official report, if you will. And his perspective is the first of two very different ways of looking at this defiant shadow. A darkness that seems to be centered on a place called Bald Mountain. And you can just hear the sorrow in Raphael's description. It's completely filled with despair. He doesn't see some defiant force. He sees a sickly gleam, a broken dream. So from the angel's point of view, this whole thing is a corruption, right? A total stain on what was supposed to be a perfect creation. And the source of this corruption, a being called the Black God, Chernabog. Now in Raphael's story, Chernabog is pure chaos, pure dread. He's not some rival power, he's just an agent of terror, gathering up wretched souls for what sounds like an absolutely horrifying show. Okay, so this is the crucial point. For heaven, for the angels, what's happening on Bald Mountain is a fundamental error. It's wrong. Evil is this grotesque anomaly, a terrifying flaw in the universe that just shouldn't be there. It's a symphony of terror, and that's all it is. But just as that grim picture gets painted, the whole conversation just flips on its head. A totally unexpected advocate shows up, and, well, he has a radically different take on this so-called symphony of terror. Mephistopheles arrives, and he's not horrified at all. He sounds impressed. He calls the chaos marvelous, a perfect disarray. And get this, he even praises Chernabog as a better manager. This cynical, almost business-like assessment is just a world away from the angel's sorrow. And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? You've got the two extremes of the debate. On one side, heaven sees evil as a cancer, this destructive thing that has to be cut out. But on the other side, Mephistopheles sees it as a tool, a piece of cosmic machinery that serves a practical, even if it is an unpleasant, function. So Mephistopheles says this chaos is useful. But useful how? Well, he basically argues, how would anyone really appreciate the light if they never experienced the dark? In his view, this evil is what tests the human will. Sure, it tempts them, but for those who resist, it actually makes their faith even stronger. It's like a trial by fire. So we're left with these two completely opposite viewpoints. Evil as a flaw versus evil as a function. And now, the Lord, the one who asked the question in the first place, steps back in to give the final judgment. And his answer, it brings both arguments together in a pretty remarkable way. The Lord's verdict here is just profound. Chernabog isn't a mistake. He's a force that is permitted to exist. He's a balance, a challenge. And that last line is everything. He works the field, but I shall keep the grain. Basically, the chaos serves a purpose, but the ultimate harvest, the good that comes out of it all, that belongs to the divine plan. And this brings us to a really core idea here. Permitted evil. It's not saying that evil is good. Not at all. It's saying it's a force that is allowed to exist, but only within very specific boundaries. It has a job to do, but its power and how long it gets to stick around is not infinite. It's a temporary tool for an eternal purpose. And this is the most important boundary of all. The power that Chernabog has, the darkness on Bald Mountain, it might seem all-powerful during the night, but ultimately, it's finite. It literally cannot survive the dawn. Its reign has a very strict, predetermined expiration date. So this leads us to the ultimate conclusion of this whole celestial debate. The night isn't just a challenge for its own sake. It's a temporary state that exists to make the coming day, the coming light, that much more meaningful. And here it is, the ultimate purpose of letting all this happen. The whole spectacle is allowed so that humanity can see it, understand it, and then, presented with a clear choice, freely choose the light. You see, when you've seen the darkness, choosing goodness becomes an active, conscious decision, and that makes it so much more powerful. So, this whole cosmic drama really leaves us with a question to think about, doesn't it? If, in this grand design, darkness helps us see the value of light and strengthens our will to choose it, what challenges, what shadows in our own lives might be serving a similar, though maybe very difficult purpose?